we'll start in mountain pose. So as we arrive and prepare for our practice, we just find connection. First, you might connect with breath, beginning with some steady breaths in and out, just to feel that flow, that nice energy, warmth flowing through you. Beginning this connection within. As you move inside of self, also be aware of your foundation. Standing here in mountain pose, a physical connection. Awareness of the ground beneath you. Using these foundations as a starting point, a reference. As we move forward in our practice today, you can think of it as a journey. Wherever you go on this journey, knowing that you can always come back to a home base, that first reference, that first resource, breath, the earth. So with that in mind, maybe even creating a personal intention for your practice this morning. Aware of the path in front of you. Aware of the journey in front of you. Let's take 3 more slow, steady breaths as we now prepare our bodies to move. And when you're ready, inhale and extend your arms overhead. Just take your time as you get a nice stretch, nice opening of the body. And then exhale, let's fold forward, so a good hinge from your hips. Bend your knees, feel like you're sitting back into a chair perhaps, and slowly fold, making your way downward. Another connection with the earth. Then inhale, slide your hands up to your shins or knees and extend your spine, creating a long flat back. And exhale, we'll fold again. Nice release of the back. Even be aware of your head, neck, and shoulders. Let these areas of the body release as well. Adding to this connection with the earth, we feel grounded, rooted with our feet below us. Maybe your fingertips are also touching the ground. From here, just a weight shift back into your heels. Bend your knees. Feel like you're sitting down into a low chair. Look forward to help extend your spine. Then extend your arms out to the side as you stand up tall. Reach into the air. Another stretch. Then exhale. Bring your hands together and down to your heart. Just take a breath. We'll go through that sequence again, our half salute to the sun. Whenever you're ready, inhale and sweep the arms out and up. Good. Nice lengthening through the sides of the body. Exhale, leading with your heart, fold forward, soft knees, a little weight shift into the heels as you fold. With control, making your way down towards toes. Inhale, slide your hands up the legs. Feel the long, flat back creation. Exhale, melting back down towards the earth, forward fold. A pause here. Another weight shift into your heels, bend your knees. Extend the spine. Inhale, extend your arms out, standing up tall, reach into the air. And exhale, hands to your heart or even hands down by your side. Pause here, finding stillness. Reconnect to breath, the ground beneath you, our resource, our starting point. Ready to continue our journey. Let's inhale, sweep the arms out and up. And exhale, leading with heart, fold forward, making your way down. Just take your time. You might touch the ground, or you might even just fold partially. And inhale, slide your hands up, your legs extending through the crown of your head to lengthen through the spine. Exhale, fold and bend. Make your way down, low enough to place your hands on your mat in front of you, and just step or walk both of your feet back till you end up in plank pose. Just draw that straight line in the body. Breathe in for a little bit more strength and energy. When you exhale, bend your knees a little, send your hips into the air. Our shortcut to downward facing dog. And once you arrive, just step into place, meaning just adjust your feet if you need to, adjust your hands, settle in. You're welcome to hold in stillness or add movement here, pressing one heel down, then the other, a little stretch for your toes, the bottoms of the feet. Think about the backs of your legs, your calves, the backs of your knees, right up into your hamstrings, perhaps. Let's get ready to move from here. Take a nice full breath in, fill up your lungs. Exhale, draw belly in, core connection. Bend your knees, walk, step, or hop up to the top of your mat into forward fold. We'll inhale to extend the spine, lifting up halfway, perhaps. Exhale, fold, melting your way back down. Weight shift into your heels, bend your knees. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Let's come all the way up. Reach high. This exhale, let's take chair pose, moving right away into our next sequence. Weight shift into the hips and heels, extended arms. Let's breathe in, reaching out a bit more. Exhale, diving out of your seat into forward fold. Inhale, lifting halfway, our monkey pose, that lengthened spine, good. Exhale, fold and bend all the way down, hands to the mat. Walk, step, or hop both feet back, plank pose. Hold for a moment, feel that nice strong straight line you've created. As before, you can take that shortcut to down dog, or with an exhale, bend elbows, squeeze them in towards your ribs as you lower your way down. Chaturanga Dandasana. Moving to the bottom of the push-up, and then inhale to upward facing dog or a cobra pose or just some nice mild back bend. Exhale onto toes, lifting the knees and your hips floating up into the air. You return to down dog, adjusting feet and hands, and we'll continue our flow and inhale to extend right leg up behind you. Reaching long, our exhale to step right foot to the top of the mat with a light landing. Turn left heel to the floor behind you. Good, solid foundation back there. Extend through your torso. Yes, then inhale, hinge from hips rising up, facing forward but reaching into the air. Warrior one. Exhale, folding forward now, bringing hands back down to the mat. We'll slide right foot back to meet the other. Plank pose. Perhaps Chaturanga Dandasana or some nice variation of a flow. Moving with breath. Eventually arriving in downward facing dog. Once in your downward facing dog, again, just make those adjustments. Then inhale to extend left leg up. Yes, reaching back with energy. Exhale, left foot steps through to the top of the mat with a light landing near left hand. Right heel will turn to the floor. Feel well grounded there. Extend the spine, hinge from hips, rising up, warrior one. Nice opening here. Exhale, folding now. Hands back down. Strong connection. Slide left foot back. There's plank pose. Complete your series as you'd like. You can even bring knees to the floor first if you wanted to. Then chest. Cobra pose is appropriate for the back bend. Downward facing dog. Once in down dog, just take a couple breaths. And then gently set your knees onto the mat. We'll sit back briefly in hero. And then off to the side, sitting on the mat, swing the legs around to the front. Sit in the center of your mat here. And go ahead and roll down. Lying on your back, feel free to hug your knees in. A little hug. Some movement. And reconnect to breath here too. Take a moment to circle the ankles and any other movement in the feet. You might flex your feet, point your toes. And then eventually just setting your feet onto the mat, knees bent, preparing for our back bend. A nice full breath in, fill up your lungs. Exhale, empty belly, and then lift hips up into the air. There's our bridge pose. You can just stay like this, just having lifted, holding. You can even slide a block underneath you for a bit more support. If you'd like, you can even rock your upper body left and right a few times, just to get the shoulders and your arms a bit underneath you, and just notice how that changes the dynamic of your posture. Maybe it opens the chest a bit more. You might even lift a little higher. Use your hands or your arms, your elbows to help lift yourself up by pressing into the ground. Again, using that strong foundation, another way to use our resource. 2 more breaths. After that second breath, you might just wiggle your feet forward a little bit. We're making space so we can get out of the pose. Extend your arms up into the air, and then roll your way down. Soft landing. You might draw knees into chest, more movement of the whole body, your feet, eventually rocking forward and back. So you can rock up to a seated position, coming to boat pose. That's it. Perhaps starting with bent knees, energized feet, holding onto the legs if you'd like, to help extend spine, feeling lifted. Once you feel that extension through the spine, your long torso, really activate breath to keep that lengthening, fill up the lungs, that lightness in the body. Exhale, even blowing the air out of the mouth if you'd like, feeling the contraction of the abdominal muscles, very strong connection. Let's get ready to move. We'll breathe in. And exhale, we'll cross legs, hands in front or even to the side to help step back or hop back into plank pose. Another strong straight line. Bend your knees a little, send your hips into the air, downward facing dog. Let's continue. We'll inhale, extend right leg up behind you. We'll bend and twist, bring the heel down towards your backside. A little lift of the knee will help open the hips a bit. And keeping the knee suspended in the air will create a big circle in the air with the knee, like you're drawing a circle. Maybe one direction and then the other direction. Really opening up through the hip. And then pause at the top, breathe in. The exhale to help unwind, stepping through, right foot to the top of the mat, left heel down to the floor behind you. Again, a strong connection to the earth. Inhale, warrior 1, rising here, hinging your way up. Exhale, will open to a warrior 2. Some adjustments here with the feet, mainly for balance, but maybe a little bit more sensation of that hip opener with the wider stance. All right, side angle pose, reaching forward to angle the upper half of the body, rotating the arms. Good. Nice use of props here. You might use a block, perhaps, or your right hand might come down to that block or even lower right to the ground, but certainly welcome to stay up higher in this pose. Okay, stay here, but we're going to bring the left hand down behind you to low back. And just staying opened through the chest, hips. Take a couple deep breaths. More opening through the body in this posture. Let's inhale, re-extend left hand up into the air. And exhale, we'll turn, bring the hands down to the floor, step back, plank pose, pause. Another shortcut to down dog, just bend your knees, send your hips into the air. There we are, downward facing dog. And then inhale, extend left leg into the sky, strong straight line. And we'll open this up, bend your left knee. Heel will come down towards the backside just to get that good bend. And then a little lift of the knee, which will create that hip opener, that spinal rotation, And to get more into that hip socket, yeah, draw that imaginary circle in the air with the knee. You might go down and around and up and in the other direction, yes. Notice how that feels, just getting a little bit more limber in that section of the body. And then just pause at the top, breathing in. We'll exhale to unwind and then step through. Left foot to the top of the mat. Once landed, turn right heel to the floor. Inhale, rising to Warrior One. Exhale, opening to Warrior Two. Again, some adjustments here as you need to. Then our side angle pose, reaching forward, angled upper body. Left hand reaching towards the floor or going all the way down to actually touch the ground or bring in a block or even a stack of blocks. Good opening, so really reach into the air with this right hand initially. And then now we'll bring the right hand down behind you to your low back. You might even roll that right shoulder back just to keep your heart opened. There you go, nice. Yeah, so the right hand can be at your low back. It can even be on your right hip. But if you're able, yeah, even reach around your body, touching left hip or left thigh. Okay, let's flow. Let's inhale, re-extend right hand up into the air. Exhale, we'll turn, fold, bend, bring hands to the mat. Step back into plank pose, strong straight line. Another shortcut to down dog if you like, or chaturanga dandasana, bending elbows, squeeze them in towards ribs. Inhale, a little pull forward, pressing into the ground now, lifting heart into your back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Full breath in. Then exhale, walk, step, or hop both feet up to the top of the mat. Stay on your feet. Inhale, monkey pose, just to feel the fully extended spine. Exhale to fold. Then a weight shift into your heels, bend your knees. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Let's come up, reach nice and high. There we go. Exhale, let's bring arms to the side. And just be in mountain pose here for a moment. Some breaths. All right, let's move into tree pose. We have some balancing work in our practice today. So starting with tree, so shifting weight into left foot, just root down into the floor. Did I say left foot? Okay. Down into your left foot. Extending through spine, nice and tall. Exhale, draw belly in. Lift the right foot. Okay, flexing the foot perhaps and swing the knee out to the side and placing foot on the inside of the standing leg. Good. Then inhale, sweep the arms all the way up into the sky. Once you're reaching up, a little extra lift into the air. Focus forward or slightly downward. Sometimes it's easier to look down at the ground in a balancing pose. Core connected. Draw belly in. Let's keep arms extended. We'll swing the right knee forward, lifting knee with the flexed foot. Plant the foot into the earth and bring the arms back down by your side. That's it. Shake it out. Maybe some shoulder circles here. Okay. Into the other side. But first starting in mountain pose so you can establish again that foundation, that resource of being at home base. Then start shifting weight into a right foot. Plant it into the ground, feel tall. Breathing to fill up the lungs. Exhale, core connect, and we'll lift the left foot. Swing the knee out to the side. Placing foot on the inside of the standing leg. You can even have the foot down as low as this to bring the toes to the floor to help with balance if you'd like to. Then inhale, sit the arms up into the air. Reach, and a little extra lift. You get the side bodies lifting up out of the pelvis, creating a little bit more space in the belt line, hips. Okay. So your knee might even point a bit more towards the left side of the room. Excellent. Good control there. We'll keep arms extended. We'll swing that knee forward, lifting knee with the flexed foot. Plant the foot into the ground. Let's release the arms. Again, some circles here with the arms and shoulders. Maybe a couple times backward, then forward. Let's do something here. Let's inhale and extend the arms up into the sky. Big stretch. Exhale, slowly just bring your arms down, and behind you, and if you can, interlace fingers. If not, just reach. Just reach back with free hands. And once you've got the hands behind you, roll shoulders back a bit. We'll squeeze towards center. Engaging the back muscles. Nice opening for the front portion here across the chest from shoulder to shoulder. Okay. Put a little bend in both knees and then sit into a chair pose. Doesn't have to be too deep of a seat. A little bend of the knees, sit back. Might tip forward a little bit. Okay, release the hands and extend them out in front for a regular chair pose. It can be parallel to the floor or up at that angled sensation. Let's breathe in. Exhale, dive out of the seat towards toes, forward fold. We'll flow from here. Inhale, monkey pose, long spine. Exhale, fold and bend, hands to the mat. Hop or step back into plank pose. Come down if you'd like. Chaturanga Dandasana. Good, nice control there, good strength. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra pose. Yes. Exhale, downward facing dog. Just step into place. Here, let's inhale, extend right leg up behind you, reach strongly. Exhale, right foot to the top of the mat. Let's go to a high lunge. So left heel will remain lifted. Do shift the weight back. You still want balance, but that heel is lifted behind you. Hinge from hips, rising up, reaching into the air. Let's hold this for a moment. Arms can be straight, they can be slightly bent, but just still energized. And we're being lifted into the air, but we're still connecting to the ground with this lunge. We take this to triangle. So we're going to lift ourselves up in this lunge, straightening the legs a little bit. Pivot left heel to the floor. You'll turn sideways. Arms come down to parallel, yeah. So legs will be straight. We'll reach out over that straight right leg, angled upper body, rotate the arms, triangle pose. Spending some time here to experience that lengthening through that straight right leg. And even thinking or perceiving how this energy is flowing. Think of the ground underneath your right foot. Energy from the ground, maybe rising up through the heel, right through the shin, past the knee, thigh, right through the pelvis, and out through the left hip. Okay? That flow of energy there. Okay, we're going to bend the right knee and just kind of sink or slide into a side angle. Bring left hand down behind you to low back or to left hip or around the body, maybe touching right hip or thigh. Roll the left shoulder back so there's an opening through the chest and hips, almost a leaning back quality with the upper body, like you're leaning, yes, up back against a wall. Then inhale, re-extend left hand up into the air. We'll turn, hands to the floor here. Let's step back into plank pose. Complete your series as you'd like. Perhaps chaturanga to up dog, finishing in down dog. Again, any flow. Meeting in down dog, doing the other side. Inhale, extending left leg into the air, straight and strong, energized. And then exhale, left foot to the top of the mat for high lunge. Right heel stays lifted, that weight shift back so the hands are light. You can easily hinge from hips. That's our opening of the imaginary lid on the box. Once you're tall, we're reaching, even with bent elbows, that's fine, but there's that energetic floating feeling into the air. And that groundedness. Connection. Okay, let's grow taller, extending the legs, preparing for triangle. Pivot right, heel to the floor. You'll turn sideways, arms come down to parallel. You can always adjust the feet. If your feet feel like they're too far apart, you can bring the feet a little closer together and then move into your triangle pose, reaching out over the left leg. As you're doing so, you're already kind of creating this little tipped sensation. What I usually imagine is here's like a bowl of soup, and we're just tipping that bowl of soup, and the soup is just kind of pouring out the front. Okay. That same energetic flow from the earth through the foot, the leg, through the left hip and out through the right hip. Okay, we want that fluidity through the body, prana. Okay. We're bending the left knee just to kind of slide and sink a little bit into a side angle pose. Right hand will come down behind you here to low back or right hip or around the body to touch left hip or thigh. Rolling right shoulder back, open up through the chest. Okay, if you feel like you're falling forward, you want to feel like you're actually leaning backward instead, leaning back into an imaginary wall. We'll inhale to re-extend, right arm up into the air, and we'll turn, folding hands to the mat, step back into plank pose. There's our straight line of alignment, and then Chaturanga Dandasana. There, good. Inhale, upward facing dog, and downward facing dog. Nice full breath in. Exhale, walk, step or hop both feet up to the top of your mat into forward fold. Extending through the spine. Inhale, monkey. Exhale, fold again. Weight shift into your heels. Bend your knees. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Come all the way up. Reach nice and high. Another stretch and lengthening feeling. Exhale, let's return the arms to the side. Okay, if you want to or need to, a little relief for the shoulders, even your elbows, even your wrists, fingers. Okay, next balancing pose will be eagle pose. So together, let's inhale, take the arms all the way out and then up. In slow motion, let's exhale and bring the arms down, paying attention to the left arm. Okay, the left arm is going to come down and behind the right arm as your arms come in front of you, but your left arm will come down and behind the right arm, crossing at the elbow so you create an X. We're going to flip the palms forward, bend your elbows so you're reaching for the ceiling perhaps, and as you're able, kind of wind up the arms. That's it. A little bend in the knees here, soft knees, and weight shift into right foot, plant the right foot into the ground. Core control, draw belly in with an exhale. Picking up the left foot, you're going to cross this left leg entirely over the right. Okay, as best as you can here. And a little squeeze. Now the toes can touch the ground if you need a little extra stability, okay, for that balance. Or you might even be able to wrap that foot around the right calf and ankle area, or it just might be free. I usually just flex the foot or point the toes if that foot is kind of free out there. So it's a bind and some balance. Okay, to come out of the pose, we're going to uncross the legs first, plant the feet, strong connection, unwrap the arms, release, reach out, take it in slow motion here, reach out, reach up, so you can just kind of reopen. Extending, slowly bring the arms back down. Now the right arm will come down and behind the left. Crossing at the elbows, there's our X. Flip palms forward, bend elbows, reaching into the air, and then wrap it all up. A little bend in the knees. Let's put weight into the left foot, feel grounded. Check in with breath. Exhale, belly in. Picking up the right foot, bending the knee, cross that right leg entirely over the left as best as you can. Okay, so really trying to create no gaps, okay? Squeeze, okay? A nice seal, okay, of the crossed legs here. Okay, again, the foot that's crossed there, you might even wrap around the leg or touch the ground for support or out in space, but keep it energized. We're going to uncross the legs, plant the feet, unwrap the arms, again in slow motion. Really reach out with some good energy. Reaching up. Let's flow from here. Exhale, swan dive. Making our way down. Inhale, monkey pose, long, flat back. Exhale, fold and bend, hands to the floor, hop or step back, plank pose. Come down if you'd like. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra pose or any other back bend right here. Then exhale, downward facing dog. Once in down dog, inhale, extend right leg up. Bend and twist. Let's get that hip opener. There it is. Unwind, step through, right foot to the top of the mat, warrior one. So left heel will turn to the ground, solid connection to the earth, hinge from hips. Inhale, rising up, reaching into the sky. Exhale, opening to warrior two. Maybe a little wider in the stance if you're able. Okay, then side angle, reaching forward. Maybe reach forward a bit more and then rotate the arms. We're going to see if we can get a little closer to the ground. Still no need to touch the ground though. Left hand reaching up initially, and then you can bring the left hand down behind you. You can do exactly what you've been doing before, okay? Or if you're able, we're going to bind this position. So that means going a little lower. I'm going low enough where my elbow, my right elbow is below the right thigh or hamstring. So I can easily bend the elbow and reach underneath that right leg and reach up towards left hand. It's okay if the hands don't meet or touch, but if they can, maybe you'll hook a finger or two. Okay? And then still rolling that left shoulder back, wherever you happen to be, rolling the left shoulder back, and in that same sensation of trying to lean back and into an imaginary wall. A lot of sensation here. And this bind. Okay? Let's release the fingers, extend the arms floor to ceiling. Inhale. Exhale, turn. Let's bring the hands to the floor. Rise up onto tiptoes behind you. You'll be in a high lunge, in a runner's lunge for a moment. And then slide the right foot back and up into the air. You'll be in down dog again, straight lines. And then right foot returns to the top of the mat. Let's go to a high lunge. Left heel stays lifted, all 10 toes pointing forward. We'll rise up. Reach into the air, lunge deeply, experience the pose, and then lift, straighten the legs, pivot left heel to the floor, arms come down to parallel, legs are straight. Let's go ahead and take triangle. Reach forward, that left hip kind of reaches back to the wall that's behind you. Rotate the arms. Nice openings here. Staying tipped over, you'll just bend the right knee, just kind of slide or sink into side angle. Breathe in. Exhale, turn, hands to the floor. Step back, plank pose. Chaturanga Dandasana. Finishing the push-up. Find a back bend here as you inhale. And exhale into downward facing dog. Okay, other side. And inhale, extending left leg into the air. Bend and twist open. There's our hip opener. Unwind so you can step through. Left foot to the top of the mat. Warrior one. So right heel will turn to the floor. Feel that grounded feeling. When you're ready, hinge from hips. Inhale, rising up. Then your exhale, opening to warrior two. Settle in. Maybe a wider stance if that works. Side angle, reaching out over that left knee. Rotate the arms. Okay. Maybe getting a bit closer to the floor. Still no need to touch the floor, but maybe just a little closer. That might just mean a little wider stance. Right hand will come down behind you. Again, staying just as we've been doing before with hand behind you. Or going for the bind, maybe low enough, this left arm getting low enough where you can bend the elbow and reach underneath that leg. Find in the right hand. Even if the fingertips are just barely touching, they don't have to touch at all, but they're reaching for each other. Okay, but maybe even able to hook, maybe just two fingers, maybe the index fingers. Okay, and then that sensation of rolling right shoulder back, opening up through the chest, so you're really facing sideways, and then leaning into an imaginary wall behind you. Lots of hip opening action here. Let's release the fingers. If they're folded or bound behind you, re-extend the arms, floor to ceiling. Inhale. Exhale. Turn, hands to the floor, rise up onto tiptoes behind you, runner's lunge. Plant the hands strongly, slide left foot back and up into the air, down dog. And then left foot to the top of the mat, again, high lunge. All 10 toes are forward, long spine, hinge from hips. Rising up, reach high lunge low. Don't forget to hug to center. Then we'll lift, yes, to extend the legs, pivot right heel to the floor, prepping for triangle. Shorten the stance if you need to. Otherwise, reaching out over that left leg, rotate the arms. Here it is. Nice open body. So very different from that kind of that bound side angle pose. Okay, lots of twists and knots in the body, where this one, triangle pose, has a lot of freedom. Let's bend the left knee, just kind of sink and slide into side angle pose. Opening up a bit more, breathing in. Exhale, our turn and fold towards the earth. Plant the hands, slide left foot back, plank pose, completing your series. Meeting in downward facing dog. Couple breaths in down dog. And we'll take a seat, so feel free to kneel down. Maybe sit back briefly in hero. You can stay in hero if that's okay for you, or just take a regular seat, just a comfortable seat. You can cross your legs in any style here. Okay? Let me just show you our next flow. It's going to start with, not necessarily starting with, but we'll eventually get into this kind of this bound side angle pose. So here I got a few fingers hooked together, but I've really got this leaning forward, looking down at the ground sensation. Now it's okay to release the fingers a bit to help rise up, lean back, okay, as best as you can here. Leaning back against the imaginary wall. From our bind and seeing if you can maintain the bind. It's okay if you release the bind. I'm looking at the front foot here, my right foot. And a little push from behind. I'm going to step this left foot up to the top of the mat. I'm going to face this way. Okay? So I've stepped up. I'm going to lean and put weight and pressure in that left foot. Okay? And start to stand. Once I stand, I'm going to flex this right foot so that leg is energized. Okay? Looking forward at the floor, really just for balance, eventually looking directly forward. Okay? So we're going to bind in this balance here, going for our bird of paradise. So you can extend the leg as you're able in the bind. Now if you release the bind, let me do another version of this. Okay, let's say there is no bind with the fingers. Okay? Still leaning back. In this case, I'm going to step my right foot to the top of the mat. Okay? I have no bind here, but I'm going to just kind of just hold on to this leg. Okay? Here I'm just shifting weight into my right foot. My right hand is just behind me on my low back. With that same stance, I'm just going to pick up this foot. Okay? Flex the foot, standing up tall. Okay? So I can just hold here. I can even just catch the shin instead, and that can be the variation. You can even do a little kick. Okay? For whatever pose we get into, bird of paradise or this version, we're going to release it and take it into tree pose. Okay? So that's our easy flow. For early in the morning. So let's come to a downward facing dog. Let's all come together in downward facing dog. Once in down dog, take a nice full breath in. And exhale, walk, step, or hop both feet up to the top of the mat. Stay on your feet here. Monkey pose, good extension through the spine. Exhale, fold. Holding here for a moment for a nice release. Little weight shift into the heels, bend your knees. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Coming up, reaching into the air. Exhale, arms to your side. Okay, some movement of the shoulders perhaps. Alrighty. So let's do that second version, okay, of bird of paradise, okay? So start shifting weight into your left foot, root into the ground, nice and tall. Core connected, and we're going to pick up the right foot, flexed foot, okay? Initially, just place your left hand on your hip. Right hand's going to catch the shin just below the knee, okay, and just take it out to the side, just a little opening, okay? And then reposition the left hand to your low back. Okay, so this is that second version of bird of paradise if you end up not in the bind, okay? And release this, placing the foot on the inside of the standing leg, arms up into the air for a tree pose. So release the bind, yep, right into tree. Okay, keep arms extended. We'll swing that knee forward, lifting knee flexed foot, planted into the ground, arms return to your side. Okay, shake that out as you need to. Okay, so same thing, start shifting weight into the right foot, root down, feel tall and lifted. I'm going to pick up the left foot. Right hand can come to hip. Okay, knee will, actually let's catch just below the knee at the shin. We'll just carry that knee out to the side there. I'm going to reposition the right hand behind you to low back. There it is. And even a little roll of the shoulders back so you feel this opening of the chest. A little more proud there. Okay, then release this bind right into tree pose. So foot on the inner leg, reaching into the sky. Breathe in, reach high. Let's keep the arms in the air. Let's swing that knee forward, lifting knee flexed foot, plant the foot, and release the arms to your side. Shake that out, okay? Let's go through a flow, okay? Get into side angle, the bound side angle. We'll carry that into bird of paradise, okay? So here we go. Inhale, reach into the air. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, monkey pose, long flat back. Exhale, bend, fold, hands to the floor, walk, step, or hop, both feet back, plank pose. You can take a shortcut to down dog if you like, or a full vinyasa to downward facing dog, either one. Once in down dog, we'll take right leg up into the air, bend and twist. Unwind, step right foot to the top of the mat, warrior one, so left heel will turn to the floor. Again, that nice grounding sensation, reaching into the air. Let's exhale, open to warrior two. Maybe a bit of a wider stance. Side angle pose, reach more, rotate arms. Okay, left hand down behind you. Okay, again, you can stay here, okay, or if you're able, let's get into the bind. Even if you get into the bind, but eventually have to release the bind, that's okay. Okay, maybe that leaning back sensation as best as you can, opening up through the chest, facing sideways. Look down at the floor at your front foot, right foot. Okay, a little push from behind that left foot. You're stepping that left foot. Take as many steps as you need to get the left foot to the top of the mat. And then start shifting weight into the left foot. Okay, the right foot should be pretty light. You'll be on your tiptoes probably. Okay, maybe still in the bind. If not, that's okay. Press into the floor with the left foot to help stand, looking forward, eventually looking out in front here, still in the bind. Roll shoulders back, or if you did release the bind, let's go back to that original position there, okay? If you can, extending the right leg, a little kick. We're going to release it into tree pose, wherever you are. Tree pose, so right foot on the inner left leg, arms up into the sky. Let's swing the right knee forward, lifting knee flexed foot, plant the foot. Balance on 2 feet, keep arms in the air, reach, inhale. Exhale, swan dive. Monkey pose, long flat back. Exhale, fold and bend, hands to the floor. Walk, step, or hop, both feet back, plank pose. Stay there. Okay. Shortcut to down dog if you like, or a full vinyasa, you decide. Meeting in downward facing dog. Once you're there in downward facing, inhale, extend left leg into the sky, bend and twist. Good. Unwind, step through, left foot to the top of the mat, warrior one. Right heel turns to the floor, rising high, exhale, opening, warrior two. Good. Reaching forward, maybe forward a bit more, rotate arms, side angle pose. Nice opening through the chest and heart space. Eventually bring a right hand down behind you, staying like this, or low enough with the left arm and body, really, to get into the bind. Okay, leaning back. We're looking down at the left foot, at the floor. And then start stepping the right foot as many steps as you need to get to the top of the mat. You can already see my left foot's already lifted. Weight's in the right foot. Keep it planted. A good exhale, core connection. Stand. Okay, there you go. Getting as nice and tall as you can. Looking forward, roll shoulders back, open chest. Bird of paradise, maybe a little kick of the leg. Doesn't have to be fully extended, just a little kick, that's fine. Let's release the bind, tree pose. Left foot comes to the inside of the right leg. Arms up into the air, lift, get nice and tall. There it is, reaching high. Keep arms in the air, swing left knee forward, plant the foot into the earth. Let's just keep it moving. I should just bring the arms to your side, like give it a little rest, because we're going to do something a little different. Good. Shake it all out. Okay, good. So the sequence is going to start in eagle pose. Eagle pose. So let me just hop into eagle real quick, just a modified version. So we're going to, from eagle, we're going to open up into a warrior two. So whatever leg is crossed, we're uncrossing and stepping back and freeing up the body. Okay. Back into that warrior two. We'll probably reverse the warrior here. And get into a side angle. Okay. Alrighty, so let's come to a mountain pose. Here we go, eagle pose starting. So inhale, reaching the arms up into the air. Slowly bring the arms down, paying attention to left arm. Left arm will come down and behind the right. Crossing at the elbows, make the X. Lift and wrap. There we are. A little bend in the knees. Put weight into the right foot. Core connection. Pick up the left foot, cross that left leg entirely over the right. Okay, and just settle into the pose. Get some squeezing sensations in the legs and arms. I'm not going to be here too long. Breathe in, get a little tighter in the bind. As we exhale, we're uncrossing the left leg and stepping that left foot way back into the lunge, and then release the arms, opening into warrior two. Let's reverse the warrior, reaching up into the air. Keep that arm extended and straighten out the right leg. Just straighten out the right leg, yes? And come up, tip it over, right hand down, left hand up will be in triangle, yes. Good. Bend the right knee and just sink and slide into a side angle pose. Nice opening there initially, but then bring left hand down behind you. Bind if you're able. Okay? Or do the other version where there is no bind. Good extension of the torso, leaning back, feeling. Look at the top of the mat. You were stepping forward with the left foot. Put weight into the left foot. We can start to stand. Once you pick up the right foot, flex it so there's energy in the leg. Core connected, tall as can be. Maybe extending the leg or a little kick. Releasing the bind, tree pose. Yes, there it is. Freeing up the body once again. Okay, let's keep the arms extended. Swing right knee forward, lifting knee, flexed foot. Just plant the foot into the ground. Let's just keep reaching into the air with the arms and slowly bring the arms down. Right arm will come down and behind the left. Cross the elbows, make your X. Flip the hands up. Give it a little twirl, wrapping up the arms. Bent knees, a little chair-like pose. Put weight into the left foot. Core connection. A lot of core work with this. Picking up right foot, crossing the right leg entirely over the other. Squeeze. Breathe in, squeeze a little tighter. Going to warrior two. As we exhale, we're uncrossing the right leg. Step way back with that right foot. Opening up the arms, there's warrior two. Reverse the warrior. Reaching up. Once we're reaching, keep lifting up into the air as you straighten the left leg. We're prepping for triangle. Keep both legs straight. We're just bringing the torso up. Tip it over so left hand is coming down towards left leg. Right hand into the air. There's triangle pose. There's that freedom in the body. We're ready to bind it up again. So bend the left knee, sink and slide into side angle. Opening up the torso initially, and then right hand down behind you. Binding. Okay, this time I'm not going to bind, but bind if you're able. I'm just going to give you the other variation. So the right hand can just be behind you. Look at the mat, top of the mat, near your left foot. Okay, we're bringing the right foot up to the top of the mat here. Put weight into the right foot. Now my left hand's still free, because I'm not bound. I'm going to hold onto the inner left hamstring here. Okay, put weight into the right foot. Lift, flex the left. I'm just picking up this left leg and getting up nice and tall. Again, my right hand still at my low back. Getting up nice and tall here. Wherever you are, see if you can roll shoulders back. Nice long torso. Look forward. Yeah, a little kick maybe. Whoa. Okay. Releasing the binds, tree pose. Left foot to the inner right leg. Extend your arms, those tree branches growing, well lifted. Keep arms extended, swing left knee forward, lifting knee, flexed foot. Plant the foot into the ground. Inhale, reach high. Even tip your chin up, look up. Exhale, swan dive. Folding, bending, releasing, find the ground. Monkey pose, extending through spine here. Fold and bend, hands to the floor. Hop or step back into plank pose. Come down as you're able, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Pause in your downward facing. We'll take another seat, so bring the knees to the floor gently. Sit back briefly in hero. Sit off to the side, swing legs around to the front. Sitting in the center of the mat. Once again, roll onto the back, hug knees into chest. Just briefly, going back into bridge. Just one more back bend. Plant the feet into the earth. Let the hips float into the sky. Maybe shoulders and arms a bit underneath you. I'm even taking my feet a little wider. For me, that just creates a little bit more space in the back and hips. I'm using my elbows to root into the earth, to really expand and open. Okay, so we had all those binding postures. And this can be considered perhaps another kind of opened, free expression of the body. Wiggle the toes forward, making space, extend arms into the air, making space again in the shoulders, roll down. Once you're down, extend your legs out front, reach your arms behind you, again, more freedom in the body. Okay, and then hug, when you're ready, hug both knees into chest, and take happy baby pose or any other hip opener here. At the beginning of practice, we kind of talked about, our journeys and where our paths might take us. So sometimes, our paths aren't always clear. We wish they would be, right? Sometimes we run into snags and binds, unpredictable things. If we can treat those life path experiences like we do in our yoga practice, where, we know how to breathe through them, knowing that those situations aren't permanent, they're just temporary. And usually on the other side of those binds, that sense of freedom. Maybe a few more breaths in your happy baby pose or bound angle pose. You might release the feet and just hug the knees in. Let's take a twist. Taking the knees over to the left side. Extend your right arm off to the right side. Some breaths. 2 more breaths. And then returning to center. Another hug of the knees in towards your body. Even just treat that as a nurturing moment when you know it's good to take care of yourself. And then taking knees to the other side, completing your spinal twist. And 2 more breaths. When complete, return to center and extend your legs straight out in front of you, arms resting softly down by your side as you relax in Shavasana. You can certainly relax in any other pose that would be relaxing and nurturing and restorative for you. Return to the awareness of your breath. With this awareness, take 5 slow, deep breaths. Feeling movement gently return to your body. Noticing the freedom within your body. Breath can easily flow. And that fluidity helps with movement. Movement along your path. This path of our yoga practice coming to a close. Go ahead and carefully roll onto either side of your body. Again, that awareness of nurturing. Moving in slow motion, continue to move and rise to seated. And once here, just sitting up tall and proud, heart opened. And then one more movement together. And inhale to extend your arms out and up into the air. Exhale, bring your palms together and down to your heart space. Once here, take one more breath in and out. And as we come to the close of our practice together, we bow saying, Namaste.